All right. It does help when I unmute. Good evening. Good evening. I'm Dr. Nathan Sikora, founder of Holistic Family Chiropractic. And I want to talk about a topic that is hot, that everyone's talking about. That is the topic of technique. Technology and our bodies interact, and there can be dangers. Tonight, we're going to talk about the dangers of technique. Why is it so important that we talk about technology and how we use it? Is because it affects every part of our life. And for many of us, that technology is something we have to use on a regular basis and maybe hours and hours at a time. We may choose to, we may have to. But the better use of technology and the smarter use of it is ergonomics. I sit down every Tuesday to go over topics with my patients and with their friends. You can always share these links, just so you know, and share the link on our website, because we believe an educated community that has understanding and health knowledge is better able to take care of themselves, is less stressed, and costs the system less, as well as adds to humanity. We do workshops because we want our patients to get better faster and stay well longer, become less dependent upon any other doctor. The true doctor is inside of you. We believe that your body is a self-healing and self-regulating mechanism. And in that aspect of your body, we need to excite your nervous system. We need to maximize the nervous system function. And every topic that we talk about affects your nervous system. When your nervous system is overwhelmed and overtaxed, you become subluxated. The subluxations are simply a misalignment that irritates the nerves, but it has profound effects. It causes dis-ease. It causes a lack of light to flow through your body. When your light is flowing at 100%, the lights are bright. You know, a subluxation would be similar to me just dimming the lights. I'm subluxated. When I'm unsubluxated, the light comes on. Your body wants to turn the power on and turn the lights on, and it can't do that with the amount of stresses and strains we place on it. We may do that in many aspects of our lives through the ways that we think, the ways that we move, or the lack of movement, and the ways that we eat. Toxins and traumas and thoughts affect us every day. And we're going to talk today about how the posture that we sit in with technology can affect not only our minds, but our bodies, and really even affect our longevity. So let's dig into it. Tech neck. Amy, could you just give me a thumbs up? Can you see the slideshow? All right, let's get to it. The dangers of tech neck. Let's talk about it. I love this slide. You know, spinal hygiene exercises and taking care of our posture was not something that our ancestors had to do. You know, they didn't have to regularly see a chiropractor. But that is because we have devolved in a certain sense. How many of us, how many of us get stuck looking like this fella on the far right here? How many of us? You know, how many people have seen their children or themselves have been on the couch and hunched and slunched and slouched position? That position puts such stress and strain on our bodies that is unbelievable. The more we're at a computer, on a phone, or at a desk, the more that our posture is being affected. So we are devolving back into the ape position, and that affects our brain's function. Truly does. Truly does. I want to go to the next slide here. I want us all to try something. I want us all to try something. If you can, if you have maybe a gallon of milk in the fridge or a half gallon, I want you to go grab it. I want you to find something heavy. Heck, if you've got a bowling ball, I want you to grab it. If you've got one, I want you to grab it. We're going to all do this together. We're going to all do this together. So if you have something heavy, just even a couple pounds, so the only thing I can find in the office right now is this guy. This is 3 pounds worth of weight. But I want you to get something that's a couple pounds, all right? Find something that's a couple pounds. And we're going to do a little exercise. Benjamin Franklin said that if you tell me, I'm likely to forget. And when we sit on these lines together, a lot of it's just me talking. If I teach you, you may remember. So maybe if I go through some education and you understand it mentally, that's great. But there's still a good chance you may forget it. But if I involve you, you will learn. When we're involved and participate in any of these workshops, when you type in a message, when you ask a question, when you do an activity like the exercises we're going to teach you, you are more likely to learn. You are more likely to learn. So hopefully everyone has something that has some weight to it. A couple pounds is all you need, but if you've got a bowling ball, that would be wonderful. So what I like everyone to do is first is I want you to take that weight and I want you to just kind of hold it out in front of yourself, all right? Let's just all hold that for a minute. Well, you can hold it with one hand if you want or two hands, but I want you to hold it. While I'm talking, I want you to just keep holding this, okay? Just keep holding it right out. Did you know that your head is equal to the weight of you guessed it, bowling ball? Smaller heads may be 10 pounds, bigger heads may be 15 or 17 pounds. Our software, when you do a posture picture, will tell you how much your head actually weighs or likely weighs. Pat, are you getting tired already? What's going on there, buddy? So if your head weighs 10 pounds, and right now you're only holding 3 pounds, even through this little bit of me talking, do you feel your muscles starting to get slightly tired? Anybody? Slightly tired? Amy, you only have a liter, so that's probably like a pound. You might even feel it with a pound, right? How you doing, Pat? You feeling it a little bit? Everyone holding forward. Are we starting to feel some tension in our muscles building up? Everyone feel a little tension building up, maybe? Yeah? All right. Now I want you to hold it right here. Hold it real close to you. Hold it real close to you. Do you feel the amount of weight shift, the amount of pressure taken away when you hold it this way? Does everyone feel that? I bet you if I had to talk for even 5 minutes, you'd probably be able to hold this for a while, like this, right? But as soon as I'd have you try to hold a bowling ball out here, how long do you think you could hold that, huh? Not very long, is my guess. So your head equals the weight of a bowling ball. You can all put your stuff down if you want. If you want, you can keep holding it and switch back and forth. Whatever helps you learn is what I want. All right, Melanie, thank you. So know this. If your head is the weight of a bowling ball, then that means that our heads equal about 10 to 15 pounds. And if I have my head on top of my shoulders, the muscles in my neck, the muscles in my shoulders can hold my head, 10 to 15 pound head up without a lot of tension and work. As soon as I bring it down here, that's going to begin to maximize tension on these muscles, just like when we were holding that weight right out in front of us. As soon as your muscles, your head shifts even an inch forward or looks down at 15 degrees, you start to maximize the weight of your head. Your head that weighs only 10 or 15 pounds, and when you start to flex forward, begins to equal a lot heavier weight. So for someone, if you look at this, someone who's just looking even slightly down at their phone, 15 degrees, just a slight tilt, is starting to increase the weight of their head effectively to 27 pounds. 27 pounds. 27 pounds. How long could you hold 27 pounds up? Amy, you were holding a pound, right? You add 27 pounds to that. How long could you do that? Until your muscles start to get tired, fatigued, stressed, and strained. That's what happens when we have tech neck or forward head position. If you tilted it even a little bit more forward, 30 degrees, at this point you might be at a half inch forward. As soon as you do that, you're at 40 pounds of weight that your head is effectively putting on your neck and shoulders. How many people say, I hold a lot of tension in my neck? I'm really feeling it back here. How many of those people with headaches and tension headaches come into our office and we find that they have a flattened, straightened spine in their body? So many. So many. Majority of headaches have a cervicogenic component, meaning that their neck is adding to the headache. Look at this. You keep adding this. If you go 45 degrees, right here, that's pretty far forward looking down at your phone, 49 pounds. You get down to 60 degrees and you're at 60 pounds of pressure on those muscles and those joints. In your spine, there's discs that are going to absorb the pressure, right? Those are going to absorb the pressure in your neck. So if I take my head and I'm flexed forward, I start to put a ton of pressure on these discs. These discs, they start to wear out. They become arthritic. And that can all be due to chronically looking down. Gravity can be withstood when our head is upright. Your head in an upright or normal position is like a shock absorbing spring to gravity's pressure. Even 15 degrees of pressure now maximizes the weight of your head and starts to wear and tear the spine. The gravity is equally distributed along a properly positioned spine. That's not so when it's bent or forward or hunched forward. So tech neck starts to straighten the curve of the spine, and it starts to cause long-term arthritis and wear and tear on our bodies. So we want to maintain a curve in our neck. How do we do that? Well, we're going to talk about it. But right now, I want you to realize that using the phone or technology typically causes us to have a tech neck. And that weight really puts a lot of pressure on our bodies. They did a study. And if you were in this position for a long time, long enough, and I laid someone down, let's say I laid this person at a 45-degree angle. If I laid them down on the ground, they might have been in this position so long that their muscles and joints are so stiff that they can't even let their head come backwards and they don't hit the ground. If you go up against a wall and can't touch the head back to the wall, or it's really hard to get it back there, you actually have an increased risk of earlier death than your peers who can get it there. So tech neck or poor posture can lead to every effect to your body, from breathing to thinking, from hormone production to digestion. It all can be affected, and even mortality is linked to poor posture. So we got to get ourselves head up. We got to get head up. Let's look a little bit about the signs of tech neck. What do we see when we're looking at tech neck? You see this for you, it's like a ball and chain. Did you know your body shouldn't show us any sign of arthritis for 125 years? 125 years. That's only if we maintain good straight alignment, proper curves of our body, and we good mobility, that all these joints are moving properly. That's why I adjust you, to keep them moving, to keep them from wearing out, to keep the body from decaying. But I can't undo posture that continues to get beat on day in and day out. So we got to remove that ball and chain. But if we don't, if we continue to have our heads flexed forward and hunched forward, and that 60 pounds of pressure continues to build up, you're going to get neck pain. You're going to get headaches. Numbness and tingling in your fingers, very common. Your neck is going to be under a significant amount of stress. A chiropractor can provide relief, but overall, we need to change your posture. All right. So continue to look at how to improve good posture. Talk about how much time anytime technology is epidemic. Children and adolescents, millennials, let's say even, are spending up to 18 hours per day. That is just shocking and disturbing. This kind of breaks down some of these reports that we've been looking at. But media is being overconsumed and overused in our technology, and it's affecting our posture, let alone our brain, let alone our brain. I wanted to bring this quote up because I thought this was great. That this orthopedic surgeon, okay, this sometimes, you'll think, well, the chiropractor, of course he thinks the spine's important. He's a chiropractor. This research was done by Alston Stubbs, an orthopedic surgeon, who states that we see the spine and overall skeletal structure being critical to a functionality and their satisfaction with their life and healthcare. This is an orthopedic surgeon. You maintaining proper function and structure of your body leads to better outcomes in life and in health. And research proves this time and time again. The challenge is we're stuck in front of technology, and we have to do things to undo this, to take the stress away. Okay, we've got to take the stress away. Here's another quote, Wall Street Journal. How we hold our bodies while we interact with technology is very much under our control. Pause. We can control how we use these things, but we've got to be reminding ourselves to make changes in our posture. Posture re-education is key to decreasing incidence of back and shoulder and neck pain. This is a doctor of physical therapy at the Spine Hospital. Epidemically, our posture is getting worse. And when we're in this flexed position, we go back to example of, our head is flexed when we're like this caveman down here. We're hunched forward. Our brains are in fight or flight more often. They are turning on more chemicals of cortisol and stress. If life wasn't stressful enough, our posture is adding even more stress just based on the position we're in. We're in this protected, flexed, and hunched position, and that position actually causes our brain to be in more fear. We talk about fear and worry and all those types of emotions on the fourth Tuesday of every month. But did you realize that by the right amount of positioning of your body, you can start to reduce even some of those thoughts without having to do any kind of mental work? Our posture is so valuable to us. We need to take care of it. Chiropractic is the first step. You at home have work to do. We overuse technology. Our spine is key. And we want to go over some of the, what are some of the recommendations we can do to try to help in reducing the amount of stress or technique? How do we improve this? So let's talk about at least use of a computer. Number one, ideal position. Well, I'm going to tell you this. When COVID hit, I probably saw 4 times more people with neck pain and shoulder pain because they were stuck on their couch looking on a laptop, hunched forward and slouched forward on a laptop with no support to their back, like this person at least has a chair to support them, with no good ergonomic position of their body, and not a computer in front of them. This was a laptop on your lap, in a bed or on a couch. Worst thing you can do. The opposite of that, if you're going to have to sit in front of a computer, which I love for most of my patients to think about a 50-50. I've seen too many patients who have gone straight to standing desks 100%, and they have some of their own issues. If you're going to do that, you better come to next week's workshop about stretching your legs, okay? We're going to talk a lot about lower body stretching and how it affects your back. But if you're going to stand, I would stand 50%, sit 50%. If you're going to stand, obviously your head should be over your shoulders, so you should be able to look straight ahead. Your shoulders should be over your hips and hips over your ankles. A lot of us, when we start to stand, we start to kind of let our hips forward. That's going to put problems with us. So standing is not necessarily just the best solution. We got to look at our posture standing. But let's look at it seated. Number 1, follow the dots. Head over the neck and shoulders. A straight line. Shoulders over hips. Our hips could be at an angle, meaning that, you could be leaning back a little bit. You could be straight up. And ideally, in most positions, a little bit of lean for some time. About 120 degrees would be the most angle we could do, up to 90. Somewhere in between that is ideal, and moving that throughout the day is ideal. So 90 to 120 degrees in your lower back flexion of your body. That's we're seeing this with this person right here. The knees flexed at 90 degrees to 120. How many people sit in a chair in any facility and you realize it doesn't fit you at all? What do I mean by that? Well, number 1, maybe if you're really short, your feet don't even hit the ground. You might have to put your toes up. That doesn't fit you. That you should not be in that kind of a chair for too long. You need to lower your chair to the ground. Your feet should be flat on the ground. You might even be able to put a box or an angle down on the ground, like at an angle, so that your feet are flexed. Instead of being flat on the ground, they might be flexed like this. But we need to be heels on the ground, knees at 90 degrees to 120. So feet flat, knees at 90 degrees, hips at 90 degrees, head and shoulders. These are keys. You're looking at this person in that great position. Our hands and arms need to be in a position where they can be relaxed. So if you see this guy's elbows and hands are at 90 to 120 degrees again, and his forearms are resting right on his chair's armrests. That armrest is right in alignment with his desk so that he can comfortably just let his shoulders down. If we took an x-ray of you and we saw a lot of shoulder musculature in the neck, we know that you're hunched up. We need to get those shoulders down and head up. So make sure that your arms are relaxed down to your side, that your shoulders aren't up, and that the hands are coming straight across the desk. And those hands and wrists are pretty flat right to your computer. They shouldn't be too tilted that way. They shouldn't be down. But your shoulders should be right to your side. They can be at an angle, your elbow, 120 or 90, so you could be a little bit straighter or forward. But if you, with like a lot of people I see, maybe they're doing a standing desk or they're even putting their arms out to their desk, a lot of people are reaching for their mouse and keyboard. That little bit of reach causes shoulder problems and neck tension all the time. I can't tell you how many people I can immediately tell that they're right-handed and that they use a mouse all day because they're out like this. And I feel it in their muscles. So ideally, follow this fellow. Your computer monitor should be out in front of your eyes. Your eyes should be able to look straight across to about the top of the screen. I would maybe even put this guy's computer a little higher, but we want that screen at least 18 to 24 inches away from you. And you should be able to look straight at it. You shouldn't have to look down. You can use your eyes to look down, but your head shouldn't be flexed forward. All these things are key for ergonomic positioning of your body. Any questions? Do you have a workstation at home, at work, and you want me to answer a question about it? Anybody that's on the line? Because I know I have lots of people who use computers. 60% of adults use computers. I think it's up to 80 now in their job. Okay. Good to see you on, Jane, there. Let's go into the next step. So let's say you are at work and you work an 8-hour day. I would love to set alarms for a 3-minute break every 15 to 20 minutes if you can. That is ideal. Ideal. At the minimum, I suggest a posture break, one every hour for at least 30 seconds. At least 30 seconds. You should ideally get up and move and stand. At the minimum, even if it's a little break, set an alarm or set a reminder, but you can even just sit in your desk, sit in your chair, and come to the edge of your chair with your buttocks, extend backwards, palms up, head back. And then take some deep belly breaths. Let's everyone try that for a second. I'll try to move this back so you can see me a little bit better. Good. So if you're going to sit on a chair, make sure that, when you normally sit, that your buttocks all the way back to the chair so you have support. That's number one, just like this guy. You don't want to be on the edge of the chair. That means the chair's too big. But for this exercise, I want you to slide to the edge of the chair or stand up. I'm going to sit down here. I'm going to place my palms upwards and arms back. I'm going to extend my head back. This is the opposite of forward flex posture. Now, I want you to breathe in your nose. Breathe in, and hold it. And breathe out slow. Let's do another breath. Breathe in. Keep going in. Hold it. And slowly out. One more time. Breathe in. Hold. And breathe out. Good. Relax. How'd that feel? Did your body get a little bit rebooted, reset there? That's a sample of somewhat of a 4-square breathing that we teach. But ultimately, if you're trying to calm your body and your mind, breathing in for the count of 4, holding for at least the count of 4, and breathing out for a count of 4 is one of the best ways to calm your nervous system. But when you breathe in good posture, you retrain your brain. You retrain what your body believes is normal to resetting some of what it should be. Breath and movement and posture exercises solidify a triad of change that your body will create if you create a mind body connection with breath. Mind, body, breath. Mind, body, breath. That's the triad that needs to connect. Poor posture starts to destroy your breathing, it destroys your posture, and it destroys your mind. Changing your posture every hour at the minimum and doing 30 seconds of that breathing will make you more efficient. It will reduce stress and strain on your body. It may prevent arthritis and early disease and death. But we have to remember to do it. Why don't we just do it? Because maybe we don't hurt. Maybe we're good at ignoring our bodies. Who knows? We just think we got to get it done. Your work will always be there. Your body may not for you. We need to take care of it. We need to listen more. I've put together a lot of little short videos on a new Instagram page that I have and Facebook. It's called dr.nate underscore Sikora. So if you're interested in just watching little bits on that, I'd love you guys to get on. It's dr.nate underscore, / Sikora. There's a lot of good little things like that on there that you'll learn from. So I would encourage you to check that out. Instagram, Facebook, I believe it's on both of those right now. I will be on TikTok too. So check it out. Let's talk a little bit about positions. Yes, we need to move around. We weren't given all these joints to not move. If anyone didn't get a newsletter, let us know when you come in. Melanie, I did hear you didn't, which is kind of strange. So we want to make sure that people getting these newsletters, it's a summary of the things I talk about, but in a really well-written way with some videos and graphics. So make sure that you're moving. And if you want to learn more about moving, read our newsletter or look at our blog. We might have one on about that. But changing positions, we got to move often. That's why it says 90 to 120, standing and sitting. You would love to have a desk that can move up, or at least computers you can raise up and monitors you can raise up. Again, if you're in a bad position, you're not following some of these rules, then maybe it's not a great idea to stand up until you have the right equipment. Okay, remember that. Adjust the height of our screens. Screens need to be at eye level. Use a chair with a headrest to keep the eyes level. This guy isn't showing that, but a headrest is a wonderful little tool to remind us to keep our head back. If you're driving for a long trip or even a short trip, you get in your car and I'm going to go home tonight and my headrest, if it's not touching my head, then I want to start pushing my head back to that headrest. This is a great muscular exercise to strengthen these muscles that are getting weak when we're just here. So use your headrest as a gauge. Remember, keep that straight back. Keep your eyes level. Your head should hit the back of your head should hit the headrest, not the top, and definitely not the bottom, okay? So remember that. Get your spines checked. There is no way that no matter how well you try to maintain good posture and prevent stress in your life, that your body won't be overwhelmed at times and create subluxations. Subluxations destroy the natural function of your body and affect your health. People who get adjusted regularly use less medication, they have less surgery, and they're sick less often. Productivity is improved in any sense of the word when people are getting adjusted. So get your spines checked regularly because gravity is never taking a day off.